Go.
Hi, it's Linda from the Flourishing Table, aka Bella, in the kitchen. How's it going, friends? Is everybody getting a little star crazy cabin fever in the home? I thought, being that it's Palm Sunday tomorrow, normally I do my Easter baking on Good Friday, but I'm not going to be with my grandchildren, unfortunately, like a lot of you grandparents, so I'm going to have to ship my Easter cookies, and these are actually not, perishable, so they're just cookies. There's no Easter eggs in them or anything that's going to perish or become contaminated in the shipping. So what I'm making today, and I will post the recipe, but I must tell you that this recipe is not very forgiving. It's taken years for me to perfect it, and although the ingredients are simple: eggs, butter, flour, baking powder, vanilla, butter, and some shortening, it's a very temperamental dough, so you can't handle it too much. So it's not for the faint of heart, but it's something that is such a tradition passed down from my grandma Eva, Grandma May from Bari, Italy, and she was quite an incredible baker. And every Easter, we had this beautiful tradition. We'd wake up and each child had wrapped like a present their own individual scacchetta. And it looks like a little Easter basket. Now, I'm going to decorate these, so I'll show you what that finished product will look like. But what I'm creating here is the braids for the actual cookie. So you're going to actually braid it like you would hair. And you're going to make a basket for your little, and again, this dough is a little fragile, so I keep a dipping bowl of milk just to give me a little moisture in case I get a crack in the dough or I get a break in the strand of dough, and that allows me to make up for any imperfections that I might create. So like I said, we're making like a braid of hair. It actually looks like, and you can see that I had a little break in my dough here. So I take the milk, and that's how I smooth back the edges. And while I'm making this, my mom, she taught almost every one of my friends how to make these. We would give them out as a gift to neighbors and good friends. They're really a treasure, so not everybody got a scotch-ed that we knew, but the most favorite of people in our life, or the most closest of friends in that season. And I can very clearly remember the different friends that, we would have so much fun long after my mom was gone. She was sick for many years and couldn't make the scotch-ed, but we were able to carry on her tradition, which was such a beautiful thing. And I have so many beautiful memories of preparing these Easter cookies with wonderful friends. And I want to get to have a couple of different options here. So I have my scotch-ed that's already baked. So this is going to eventually look like this. And then I also made some cookies, because I would like to give these out to some special friends, just dropping them off, a flyby kind of a visit, but just a little Easter blessing. So what I would like to do with these scotch-ed, I'm actually going to take them off this cookie sheet. See how they come off real nice. You don't have to have really anything on the pan if you have a good cookie sheet, baking pan. So what I'm doing here, created a nice little icing, and all that is confectionery sugar. I use a little half and half, and a little dash of vanilla. And this is going to make a beautiful coating, and I'm going to just do them in different colors. These two I'm going to do in the green. My grandson Caleb, his favorite color is green. And then I'll make Lila some pink ones, and I'll probably do some yellow ones. So you want to make sure that they're cooled off. So these are a little warmer than I would like, but I'm going to attempt it anyway so you get the idea. So I have my pretty mint green icing. It's such a beautiful Easter color, and I know this will be something that Caleb will really appreciate because that's his favorite color, always has been. And every time I decorate cookies or anything, I try to make it green in his favorite color. It's the color of a baseball field. and he just loves baseball fields. So isn't that so adorable? That we can, just do something to honor them and make them feel special. And the other one, well, I guess I might as well coat this one also. And you can see the icing isn't really thick. It's a very light icing. Again, it's a little confectionery sugar, some vanilla, and I use half and half. If you just have milk, that's fine also. And you just want to whitewash it. It doesn't have to be so thick. And actually, the cookie itself is not very sweet. It's more like a biscuit cookie. And some Italians for Easter make actually Easter bread with the hard-boiled eggs, and we would decorate them. But since I'm shipping this, I am keeping it very simple, and I am going to I'm just going to use the icing to decorate, and then some nonpareils. And you can see that it's a very, very light, colorful, pretty little basket. Now what I actually do is I take a plate, and I'll post a picture so you can see the finished product, but I'm not going to be able to do it until the icing is ready. But what we're going to do is we're going to put that on a plate with some Easter grass, and I usually put a couple of jelly beans in the middle that make it look like a little nest. And then I wrap it in a pretty cellophane paper with ribbons, and they're really quite beautiful. And they're such a treasure because every year when I make these, it's an incredible way to honor my Grandma May, whom I adored. And I had so many years preparing these. Was such a treat. And I encourage people, this may not be your family's tradition. Maybe you came from a different background and your Easter sweets were a little different. Actually, my brother Artie, I'm thinking of him, he used to love to make these incredible chocolate bunnies. He would get the most expensive chocolates, and he had these huge molds, and he would put walnuts in there, and it was his tradition every year to bring these beautiful works of art, him and my sister-in-law Jenny would prepare these beautiful chocolate bunnies and give them out to everybody. Sometimes my mom would go to a special Italian bakery that made Ramona Lee in Long Island. I don't know if anybody out there remembers Ramona Lee, but we would get these beautiful cakes that were actually baby lambs, and they were absolutely beautiful, and they had coconut on the outside. They were just so special. And that was another favorite thing that we used to have for Easter. I remember being in Italy one year with my children. Oh, the kids were so young. It was before Alyssa went away to college, and she really wanted to go to Italy before she was going to do a study abroad. So we went to Italy, and it was Palm Sunday. It was one of the most incredible blessings. But what we did was as we walked around the streets in, near, Ponte Vecchia and the Spanish Steps and all those different beautiful places, they had these incredible eggs in all of the bakery windows and all the specialty shops. And I just remember how absolutely exquisite they were. So, there's a lot of ways that you can bring in a special tradition. I have to show off. These were made as a gift from my lifelong friend Jeannie. She gave these to me. I will treasure them forever. I've appreciated them every day since she gave them to me. They sit on my counter, and I just adore them every day. And she has such a artistic flair to put detail. She was always a doodler, and she's just blessed me so much with this plate and this beautiful, every design is unique and special, and I just love it. And I really, actually, I'm thinking of another friend that was very kind to me and bought me this beautiful dish one Easter, and I'm going to put these, I'll set these cookies out, I'll put some grass, and I'll center the cookies on there. It's just such a pretty way to display them. But, you know, all these little treasures and people in our lives that, you know, they may not be around for every season of our life, but we have this incredible treasure to leave those imprints on each other's lives. And I know I have a friend, I'm thinking of another friend, that every year I would give her a Scotchette and she would give my children an Easter book. And oh my goodness, I mean, it was a nice exchange. She appreciated these so much, and my children always appreciated a brand new Easter story. And it was a beautiful exchange every year that we both look forward to. So anyway, so I have my little crosses, and these again, my grandma called them Scotchette, the cookies. Don't ask me how to spell it. I have to look actually at her recipe card and make sure that I do spell it right when I post the recipe online. But I don't want you to be too hard on yourself. If you have trouble with the dough, it's okay. You'll get an A for effort. Make sure you do keep some milk to dip, and if you have a dry spot or a crack in the dough as you're handling it, you'll be able to smooth it out. So it is, you know, a little tough. I've had friends call me and say, I couldn't get them the way you did. I had one friend that actually made beautiful braids, and you know, you can pretty much do whatever you want with them. This was just the way my grandma and my aunts actually made them. My Uncle Ernie, he used to love to make them every year. So the tradition spread beyond my immediate family and went out to extended family, and then it eventually went out to dear friends. So I pray that in these hard times, difficult times, that you would not be too discouraged, that, you know, we do have hope. We have hope in the Lord. God, you know, will not forsake us, yet He is allowing us to go through a very difficult trial as a nation, as a world. And my prayer is that we can find unity again, that we can find comfort in family traditions, even if we're not together as a family. My grandchildren, Lila and Caleb, you know, to not be with them this week. It's Lila's birthday coming up on Tuesday. Happy birthday, my princess. She's going to be 7 years old. Our life was never the same. The minute we had grandchildren, we knew that we were richer than anything we could have ever imagined. The blessing of grandchildren is beyond words. So this is a way to honor them, to create your family traditions, whatever those look like in your life. You know, maybe it's decorating eggs like Jeannie did. I know those will be a treasure in my family, and they'll be passed on for sure. But I just want to remind you to hold on to hope, love each other well, and believe in the best of our nation. And I do believe that when we come out of this, we'll have a greater perspective of maybe what really matters, what our priorities should be. Maybe families are being healed now that are forced to be together. Maybe some people are having even a harder time because they're forced to be together. But I promise you that if you allow God into your heart, into your circumstances, He will navigate you through these tough times. He will give us peace that surpasses all understanding. And He will bring a hope and a comfort. You know, there's people that lost loved ones in this, you know, trial. These are times like we have never seen. Yet, again, we have a hope. And my prayer is that Christ is your hope, and the same power that raised him will raise us one day. And this is just a moment in time, but God willing, we'll all see one another through this, and we'll have many stories to tell. God bless you. Have a wonderful Palm Sunday. And if you decide to make my Grandma May's Scotch the cookies, I pray that you have success with them. And remember, it took me years to get this right, so don't be discouraged. Okay, thank you. God bless.